Now we're going to move over to the API economy. Let's look at the API economy next and what we need to know. Please welcome to the stage Stytch's Julianna Lamb.
Hi, I'm here today to talk about the API economy and what that means for how you think about building products. API companies today command hundreds of billions in market cap and are fundamentally changing how we think about building products. The shift to the API economy is poised to be as transformational as the shift to cloud computing. Let's dive in. We're going to start by talking about an evolution of software development and some of the key inflection points that have gotten us to where we are today. Then we'll talk about the explosion of API companies and different types of API companies being built today. Finally, we'll talk about how you can leverage APIs to supercharge your engineering and product teams to ship better products more quickly. Jumping into an evolution of software development and a selective history of some of those key inflection points. Let's go back all the way to 1969. ARPANET launches, and the modern foundations of the internet are in the works. Fast forward to the 90s, and you see the dot-com boom. All of a sudden, there's all of these companies being built internet native for the first time. In 1995, Spyglass is one of the first software companies to IPO. That's the first key shift in software development, moving towards internet native development. The next major shift we're going to talk about is this transition to cloud computing. 1999, Salesforce launches and is one of the first companies to build a cloud-native product. But people are still building their own data centers, running their own servers. It's not until later in the 2000s that you start to see the rise of cloud platforms like AWS launching in 2006. Now, you can host and deploy your software in a matter of minutes instead of the 18 to 24 months it took to build a data center. That's years that you can invest directly in product development instead of just building the table stakes infrastructure you need to even get started. The next key inflection point we'll talk about is the rise of API companies. We'll cover a few key moments in the development of the API economy to get started. First, Twilio launching in 2008 to make it easy to send programmatic SMS and voice. Twilio's mission is to fuel the future of communications, and they're living up to that today. There's no doubt that you've sent and received many text messages that are Twilio-powered. The next key moment in the development of API companies is Stripe, founded in 2010. Stripe's payment APIs make it easy for you to build and scale a business online. Now, this moment is key for a few reasons. One, Stripe fundamentally changes the standards for what it means to be a developer company with thoughtful documentation and developer resources. But they also do more than just build a bare metal backend API. They provide thoughtful, pre-built experiences that you can drop into your application with just a few lines of code. You can get the best-in-class checkout within your product in minutes. Another key moment in the development of the API economy is the founding of companies that are APIs of APIs, or data aggregators. One such company, Plaid, founded in 2013, integrates with thousands of different bank APIs. So now you only need to build one integration to get access to those thousands of different connections. So we can look at a lot of different data points, growth metrics, et cetera, to observe the rise of API companies. But a watershed moment in the development of the API economy is companies that are now being built to fuel other API companies. Postman is one example of that, founded in 2014 to make it easier to build APIs, to use them, to understand them. It's clear that we're now building an API economy. And that means that companies are able to scale more quickly than ever. Instead of spending many years just building that table stakes infrastructure you need to even get started building your core product, companies can now get right to it by leveraging things like AWS for their cloud hosting, or Twilio and Stripe to build key components of their product. So how does this modern tech stack enable that rapid development? Well, you used to have to become an expert in things like building an SMTP server, integrating with telecoms, authentication and authorization, payment processors. Then you might go out and build hundreds of different data connections. You might have to develop an algorithm for search. And each one of those could easily take an engineering team of dozens, if not more. That's time spent hiring, training, engineers building things that aren't even your core differentiated product, just to get started with that. Today, you can get all of that functionality off the shelf with an API. The way that cloud providers like AWS abstracted away the infrastructure layers, API companies are starting to abstract away the application layer so that you can focus on the pieces of your product that are truly unique and differentiated to build more innovative experiences. So what does this explosion of API companies look like? Let's talk about what even is an API. So APIs fundamentally make it easy to perform actions and exchange data. What that means is now you can rely on data and logic built and maintained by other companies within your application. That enables you to rely on companies that have one sole focus and invest all of their engineering and product resources on building the best-in-class solution for that specific problem. By leaning on these companies that focus on a specific area of expertise, and with a simple integration, you can embed that expertise into your product without having to invest significant engineering resources. Let's talk about a few different types of API companies. So there are ones that perform a specific action, like Twilio sending an SMS, MailChimp sending an email, or Checker performing a background check. Then there are companies that enable data connectivity, or the APIs of APIs. Plaid and Merge are a universal API, meaning that they are one integration to get access to aggregating data across dozens of different types of accounts. Then there are the companies that provide product building blocks. These companies provide a specific piece of your product functionality. Stripe for payments, Stytch for user authentication, Persona for identity verification, or Algolia for search infrastructure. Then we have the companies enabling the API economy. Postman making it easier to use APIs, MuleSoft making it easier to build APIs, or Rapid API making it easier to discover other APIs. It's clear that we're building a true economy around APIs. So what does this mean for you? You can leverage APIs to outsource pieces of your product development and supercharge your engineering team's velocity. What this comes down to is don't reinvent the wheel. APIs enable you to quickly ship new features by leveraging the expertise of the company building that specific product. A company dedicated solely to building that product is going to be able to provide a much better user experience than you spending a small fraction of your overall team's focus and time on that feature. You can also leverage APIs to quickly test and validate your product roadmap. Oftentimes, you might start with just one or two products from an API company, but they might have dozens more. So with that one integration, you can now get access immediately to a dozen more products to quickly ship and test some of those features. APIs also scale with you. They allow you to quickly grow in complexity and scale because they've built the infrastructure to handle that. Sending an SMS to some random country you've never seen before, but Twilio definitely has, or integrating with some regional bank in one state in the United States, Plaid has definitely seen that before. Instead of having to go and invest your engineering resources uncovering these edge cases or potential scale issues, you can rely on a trusted third party who is fully dedicated to solving those problems. They're also future-proofing for you, because those companies are going to continue to invest in building cutting-edge technology in whatever their domain of expertise is, so that as new technology emerges, you can get access to that with that one integration. So what this means is a new way of building products. By leveraging your cloud provider, you no longer have to spend years building infrastructure. By leveraging API companies, you can get access to the best-in-class solution for a specific problem and use that as building blocks for building the pieces of your product that are truly unique and differentiated. It might take a mindset shift at first to get comfortable outsourcing and trusting these third parties with key pieces of your product. But much the way it would be crazy to build your own data centers in 2022, it will soon feel just as crazy to build undifferentiated pieces of your product, like login or search, when you could be investing that time and resources in building a truly differentiated user experience. API companies are poised to fuel rapid innovation product development in a way that we've never seen before. Thank you.